Anna Shutko here is a product marketing manager for Supermetrics. Supermetrics is an analytics integration tool. I guess Anna will tell us more about that.
Yeah, sure.
And Anna does go-to-market strategies for them and all kinds of cool stuff. Also teaching the Supermetrics for Marketers course at CXL shortly. Anna, take it away.
Yes, amazing. Thank you so much for the introduction, Peep. And I'm going to share my screen. And if somebody can let me know if you can see it, it would be great.
It works.
It works? Okay, perfect. Is everything visible? All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Sorry?
Good to go.
Okay, awesome. Yes. Hello, everybody, and apologies for this short delay. Now I'm going to present you the audience research for product marketing, and I'm going to be talking about Supermetrics, so you will be able to get a bit of an idea of how we do it here at Supermetrics. So let's quickly go through the agenda today. So first, I will cover what Supermetrics is, tell a bit more about myself, tell a bit about how we're doing Connect for product marketing at Supermetrics, because that's the area I'm responsible for. Then I'm going to cover audience research for product marketing and the process of it. Then we will break down the process into the initial product research part. We're going to cover that, how to do audience interviews, and last but not least, we're going to put it all together, and then we'll have a small recap and some time for Q&A moderated by Pete. So let's get started. First of all, what is Supermetrics? And Supermetrics is a leading product for marketing reporting automation. You can see on the image that we have data sources on the left-hand side, data connectors, and data destinations on the right-hand side. So basically, we help marketers effortlessly gather, compare, and analyze data from various sources conveniently in Google Sheets, Data Studio, Excel, BI tools, and data warehouses, such as Google BigQuery. So if you want to create a report, say in spreadsheets, where you would combine different data from, say, Twitter, Facebook, Bing, Pinterest, etc., you can easily use Supermetrics and get all the data you need to create reports in the tools you're already using. And a little bit about myself. So I'm an Shutko product marketing manager at Supermetrics. I'm responsible for the Connect for marketing. So whenever we have a new integration, this data source, I'm responsible for preparing all the marketing materials for it, including the go-to-market strategy. That also includes audience research. I currently lead the launches of 17 connectors and participated in the launches of 5 Supermetrics products because we just started from Supermetrics for Google Sheets, and now we have many other data destinations as products. And I'm also a host of the Marketing Analytics Show podcast. So we just recently launched it. And if you're interested to learn more about what we do and how you can do marketing analytics, feel free to tune in. So Connect for product marketing at Supermetrics. What does it cover? First of all, there is go-to-market strategy part, which includes pricing, packaging, distribution, and many other things, but primarily these 3 options. We have marketing materials creation as a second step after this go-to-market strategy. So these materials are both internal facing, such as sales, training decks, and training sessions, and then external facing or customer facing, such as blog posts, social, email, co-marketing materials, product, and pricing pages. So as you can see, the audience research that we do acts as kind of like a fuel for both internal and external facing materials, which is a lot, and therefore you have to do a very good high quality research to be able to create great go-to-market strategy and very good quality materials. The audience research itself consists of 3 stages, which are the initial product research, audience interviews, and then we combine the insights all together, like I already mentioned. So let's start from the first part, initial research stage. The key idea here is to look at how the target audience could use and benefit the product through different lenses, as I call them. So this helps us accomplish 2 things. You can get input for the go-to-market strategy, your pricing and packaging, and you can create smart follow-up questions for the interview. So when you are in the interview, you should be able to operate within the same context as your customer. And here are a couple of questions I ask myself as a connector product marketing manager when I'm assessing each new product or each new connector we're about to launch in the market. First of all, decision-making questions. What are the benefits of our solution versus doing reporting in the native UI, or compared to if the person does not use our solution, so nothing happens at all? Result questions are, what are the benefits of our connector X and a certain data destination, if you remember the image I showed earlier, to understand what kind of unique selling points we could potentially have. And we're going to validate that through the audience interviews. Product-related questions, so what are the benefits of reporting data with the connector X and the data from the connector Y? For example, there can be a variety of different combinations. So if you imagine there are 50 connectors, there are many different options, how you can combine different data sources in different data destinations and build very, very unique reports. And competitor-related questions. So why is our connector X better than a competitor's connector, for example? Also, this can cover competitors' pricing and packaging. After we've done the initial research stage, we have the needed context to start the audience interview part. And it basically consists of 3 key areas. So the first area is the background questions. The idea of asking these questions is to understand the context your customer operates in. So first of all, the job title. So what's your job title? Beyond that, what's your role in the company is one question you could ask. What outcome would you like to achieve using our product and why is another very good question, because it helps you understand what the expectations for your product are. What are the most important success metrics you're measured on if you want to go granular and see how exactly the user will report to their manager and which metrics they're measured against, so you make sure the product helps them easily show their results in the form of these success metrics. What are the challenges that prevent you from reaching these goals is something related to the obstacles. So with your product, you could be aiming to remove these obstacles from the client's way. And any specific features you're looking for in a product, if the user is more technical, they might already have an idea of what they want. And that actually happened to us in the past, that some users were suggesting like, hey, we'd like to use this metric in this dimension in your connector, and we'd like to also have this feature on top of that. The second part of the questions are the process questions. So the key idea here is to understand how the product is or could be used within the given context that we just gathered from the first part. So these questions could be something like, can you describe the process of doing X before, or how are you doing it currently? Walkthrough questions are great because these are open questions and you're not leading your interviewee to a certain answer. So there is a freedom for you to kind of listen and then note what they're describing and how they're describing it. When you found our solution, how did it make you feel? And it's another great question because feelings are very important when assessing how the audience perceives your product or your description of the product. And what are you feeling when you've decided to switch to us in case somebody's switching from a competitor? And then how would you like to use our product is another great way to assess the expectations part. The third part of the audience interview is typically end result questions. So these help you understand the desired outcome your product has to deliver. These could be questions like, what do you expect the product would do for you? How much time, money are you saving with your current solution? And how much do you expect to save? Could you please share, who would you share your results with? And if the customer is open to it, we actually ask them to share the results of their reports or their analysis with us so we can see what our product can deliver for them. And what are you able to do with our product that you weren't before is something that can help you come up with ideas that you might not necessarily think about, but your customer might note some of these things. Putting it all together. So now that we gathered the context related answers, what can we do? First of all, we can get ideas on the tone of voice or terms to be used. And get ideas on how to describe the problem, because I don't think that it makes sense to reinvent the wheel. You should use your customers or your users' own words to describe the problem to other similar cases, to other similar audiences and users. Process-related questions, you can use the language in your UI, the same one that customers use, so they don't have to learn a new language, and you can describe the process in the way customers describe it once again. The outcome-related answers could lead you to value perception, so you can understand how your users perceive the value from different angles and from different viewpoints. So one example I really like is using the cost information to highlight the value that your product brings. So this could be maintenance cost, and I can ask, for example, how much will it cost to hire an engineer instead, to understand what's the ballpark number, how much the user is paying for their solution or the absence of this current solution. Switching costs, again, if they're switching from a competitor, how much would it cost to start using our product? And usage or expansion costs is another very important thing, because once your users started using your solution, they would probably like to use it more, and then how much would it cost them to start using one more connector to improve on their reporting. And yes, just as a recap, first, you have to do a very good initial research to help you accomplish two things: get input for the go-to-market strategy and create very smart follow-up questions for the interviews. You can immediately ask them and get as much as you can during this 30, 40, typically we do 30, 40-minute interviews. Audience interviews consist of 3 parts. So you should bear in mind that there are background questions, help you understand the context your customer operates in, process questions that help you understand how the product could be used within a given context, and then the end result questions that help you understand the desired outcome your product has to deliver. And then you're using all this information to decide on your tone of voice, how you're going to communicate, how you're going to communicate this information to your clients or users, language to be used so your users don't have to necessarily learn a new specific language, and how would you describe the values? So what are the costs and how exactly would you highlight the benefits of your product? And that brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Couple of questions. So question number 1 I have.
Yeah.
What are some examples in the, using Supermetrics as an example, where you thought during the interviews you found out something that you didn't know? So you assumed users use it this way or that way, or, you know, and then in the interviews you realize, oh, never thought about that. So, yeah.
I don't think I ever had that specific example, but one thing I want to share was that, like, once we were talking about our API product, so basically the solution that helps marketers bring data from platforms like Facebook ads, Google ads, etc., like I showed in the image, to their more advanced analytics tools such as Tableau and Power BI. And then we're talking about the maintenance cost. And that was actually the first time I realized that our product is used to replace 2 full-time engineers. I thought that it was used maybe as, you know, an addition to the existing marketing tech stack, and marketers use it kind of like to improve on their marketing and improve on their analytics. But I realized during the interview that it's actually used to replace the actual engineer. And that was kind of what I thought, but I never thought that our product would be used to, you know, like this much potential, so to say. So that was very important, and that allowed us to coin our pricing in a much more meaningful and more precise way.
What are some of the classic, typical mistakes you see made when you do audience research for, you know, for product marketing purposes? What do you see?
Yeah, sure. So people really like to assume things, and especially marketers like to assume things, and you would be surprised, but many people use a lot of leading questions and to get the ideas they want. The core idea is to be open-minded and ask the user to describe the process, like I was saying. They should describe the process as much as possible in their own words, and then you should use the exact same wording, ideally, in your marketing materials. And then if you uncover something very interesting or something that didn't go in line with your positioning originally, maybe it's time to revisit your positioning, and maybe it's time to even dig deeper and figure out like why something does not work or why certain people perceive certain things differently. But always audience first. Like audience should be, you know, the king and at the very center, and everything around marketing should be aligned with it. And every single marketer should be paying very close attention and listening to the audience instead of, you know, having their own theory and then using audience as the proof.
80 is asking here, what's your recommended workflow for synthesizing data from interviews in a quick and accurate manner?
So we follow this very precise framework. So I think that's already a great help because you understand what goes where. And I have my whole marketing materials prep process outlined. So I have a doc which says, okay, so we have a blog post, social, and an email. And we know what goes into the intro of the blog post, what goes into the main part, and what goes into the very end. So from there, I already know what part of the interview goes to which part. So basically, my advice here would be list all the marketing activities you do, list every single marketing assets you're going to create, and break it down even further. So what you put in the intro of your blog post, like I said, what you give as an example, and what goes into your ending, because benefits or some to-do action, like call to actions, usually go at the very end. And once you've listed all that, it will be very, very easy to go through the interview and see, okay, this can go there and this can go there.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I guess also a talk we just saw from Ben LeBay. I mean, I don't know if you saw it, but about codifying open-ended data would be a very good use case here. All right, Anna, thank you very much. If people want to find you, you're hanging out on LinkedIn. You have a podcast, as you said. Supermetrics.com, guys. Thank you again, Anna. See you around.
Thank you so much.